So are you struggling with wrist pain, elbow pain, shoulder pain, or neck pain? And do you feel that you have perhaps the wrong setup at home and that's contributing to your pain when you're working? Or perhaps it's your setup at work and you haven't spoken to your employer about it yet? Perhaps you've already been to the physio, spent lots of money, and just not sure what's going on. So if this resonates with you, this episode is for you. Today, we are interviewing Malin Amundsson. She is the UK representative of Mousetrapper, which is an ergonomic mouse, and they have several other products as well. And you're going to find out everything about it and how you could potentially start preventing or even getting out of pain just by having a 2-week trial with them. Hi, my name is Bruno de Jongh, and I'm the CEO and founder of CBR Clinics. And this is the Wellness Shift podcast where we interview some of our staff, some of our clients, and also some providers that could give you some insights on how to improve your health. So Malin, welcome to the Wellness Shift podcast.
Yeah.
Tell everyone who you are, what do you do, what's happening, what's Mousetrapper, what's all this?
Yeah. Okay. So my name is Malin Amundsson, and I work for a company called Mousetrapper. We're a Swedish ergonomics manufacturer. We are Swedish. I'm Swedish, although I'm based here in London. So we do dominantly an ergonomic mouse that I'll go into a bit more detail about, and we have various versions of this mouse. But basically, it's all about working within your shoulder width. So you're not working outside of your shoulder width, which is what causes a lot of pain and strain in neck, arms, back, shoulders, and so on. RSI type injuries, basically.
Yeah. And do you know, I mean, Mousetrapper, you are the representative in the UK. Am I
That's right.
right? Of the
Yes. Yeah.
Mousetrapper.
Yeah.
So do you know a little bit about the history of Mousetrapper, or we just corresponded with Bjorn a little bit over
Hmm.
emails. So he's
Yeah.
the owner, I guess. Do you know a little bit about the history?
Yes, no, Bjorn is our representative in the Netherlands, and he is the boss of Europe. Mousetrapper started in 1994, so we've been going a long, long time, tried and tested. It started off the inventor, he's called Rolf Strömberg, and he still owns the company. Basically, he worked for Ericsson. He's a civil engineer, and he felt it was really inconvenient to have to go out to the mouse all the time, working with a little mouse on the side. So he trapped the mouse to a metal rod and had the two buttons in the middle of this rod. So he was working in a central position right in front of himself. He thought it was much more convenient. He got much more done and so on. And that's also where we got our name from, Mousetrapper. He trapped the mouse to this bar. That was our first mouse, and then we've continuously developed since then. That's Rolf who's in charge of all of that still. So yes, so it's 30 plus years we've been going.
And is it mostly in Europe or is it everywhere?
Well, it's everywhere. You can buy it on Amazon if you're outside of Europe. But basically, we focused on Scandinavia for a long time because ergonomics is seen a bit differently there. It's seen more as an investment, not as much of just a cost. So yeah, but we're trying to reach people all over now, especially Europe. We're going for, and and people are interested, and it's going well, and we're establishing ourselves. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Mhm.
Fantastic. So you already tapped into it a little bit, but who is this for really? What are the challenges that people are usually facing when they come across Master? Oh, this is the perfect solution for me.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's mainly people with RSI type injuries. It tends to be, a remedial health, basically. I mean, in some places in Scandinavia, people get it before people are in pain, but on the whole, people get it once they're in pain. It's RSI, repetitive strain injuries. It's kind of could be tennis elbow, could be carpal tunnel syndrome. It could be any of these things where people just get pain and strain from working in front of the computer. And we've done quite a bit of research. So we did some studies in 2018, 2020, 2023, and then in 25. So before the pandemic, during the pandemic, and then after the pandemic. And we're seeing that, a lot of people are now working from home, which seems to make things a little bit worse in terms of injuries as well, because employers they're not always, it makes when people are working a few days from home a week, it makes the relationship between employer and employee a little bit more fluid. So the responsibility for when people are working at home it's not that clear always. So the employer doesn't necessarily look after people when they're working from home in terms of ergonomic equipment. So yes, so we're seeing that people who I made some notes here. So all of this can be found in our studies that we have on our website, which is mousetrapper.co.uk, or mousetrapper.com if you're in Europe, and then you can find your language. So basically, people who work up to 2 hours a day with a screen, up to them 37% experience pain. 2 to 4 hours a day, 47% of people experience pain, and 4 hours and more, 65% experience pain. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people, and of course, not everyone does anything about it. But, if you just push through pain, it can become chronic, which I'm sure you see all the time as well in terms of your clients at CBR.
Yeah. It, and you tapped into something that is so important for us, which is prevention. You said that some people will get this mouse before the pain sets in.
Yeah.
These days we run memberships, and we have we have dozens of clients on memberships these days,
Mm.
because we know that by seeing people regularly, we can prevent them develop first the inconvenience of having any kind of pain that might be anything from mild to debilitating, and not only experiencing pain, but that means they're probably going to have to skip work. They're going to have to come and see us and spend a big lump of sum of money in a package
Yeah.
so that we
Yeah.
can get them up and running again.
Yeah.
So by doing the prevention, you just avoid all this bother, all these extra costs, all big lump sums. And I think there's lots of evidence on the NHS as well that
Mm.
they are more and more focusing on prevention of
Yeah.
chronic disease,
Okay. Yeah.
because they consider they can make huge savings
Yeah.
like that. So it
Yeah.
totally makes sort of sense that people might want to get this,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
that people are getting this kind of apparatus for
Yeah.
work as a
Yeah.
preventative
Yeah.
as a way to prevent pain.
Yeah. At least if you start to feel pain, kind of take it seriously, is what I would say, because the key is in the name, repetitive strain injury. So we do it every day, all the time, and that's what, then it really starts to set in. And as you say, yeah, it can become quite costly for organizations, or for a private individual. I mean, I think that's why, that's a big cost in Sweden. If someone goes off, I'm speaking, saying Sweden, but, Scandinavia, and I'm sure it's the same in a lot of Europe. If someone has to go off sick, I mean, even if they have to take time to go to physio once a week or something. I don't want to take away business from you, Bruno, but it's, it's something needs to change kind of thing. Otherwise they'll never stop needing to come and see you. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, but the thing is, because we're so focused on prevention anyway, these days, probably 30% of the work that we do is towards prevention.
Yeah. It's
And the
fantastic.
other, yeah. So it
Yeah.
is massive, because we
Yeah.
know there's a market for it, and we know
Yeah.
people need it,
Yeah.
because they're just going to they might fall into bad habits, and you just need that little accountability here
That's
and
it.
there.
That's it. Yeah. And that's
And
the
you,
thing. Yeah. Habit is a big thing, but
yeah,
awareness is the biggest of all, of course. The more aware you become. So, we always say try and vary the work that you do. So if you're doing screen work, then try and step away from that and do other work to allow your body to kind of relax and the posture to change and everything. It's really important. Yeah.
yeah. Or even use, a lot of people these days are using the standing desks.
Oh, yes, yes, absolutely.
If
Yes.
a lot of
Yeah.
people don't have access to those, but if they do have access, we always advise I'll tell you, it's not a secret, but it won't be a secret anymore. But the amount of people that come into clinic and then you ask that they come in with neck pain, shoulder, whatever it is, upper limb, and then you ask them, "Have you got a standing desk?" Yes. Do you use it? No.
Yeah.
Why not? Why are you not using it?
Yeah.
That's why you're here.
Yeah.
It's just
Yes,
insane. People just don't take
I
it
know.
seriously.
Yeah. And I just want to say as well, for people who think, well, I don't want a big sit standing desk in my front room or my kitchen or whatever, if you're working from home, there are alternatives. So we offer an alternative, which is really, it's quite lightweight, it's really easy to change from sitting to standing, and at the end of the day, it folds away so you can place it behind a door or anything. It's, it's really small. So if you have a premium on
Okay.
space, it's, there are
Okay.
solutions out there. Yeah.
And that was my next question. Because there's a lot of different types of ergonomic mouses out there. So what
Yeah.
makes, you already said some of the things there, but what makes it so different from the competition?
Yeah. So we were the first, the one that Rolf created in 94. That was the first, what they call central pointing device is the technical term for it. And what makes it so different is the fact that you are working, I don't know if you can see me, but in a central position. So if we do a little with little games. If you hold your arms out like this, to the sides,
Yeah.
if you hold so lower down, as if you're working on it with a mouse, right? So that
Yeah.
would mean holding your arms outside of your shoulder width. So we just leave it for a few seconds, blah, 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 blah. Okay, now you bring them into the middle, bring them into in front of you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Feel the relief on your
Completely.
neck and everything. It's a lot of strain. Like there's nothing that is natural about working out here. I'm holding my hand a bit higher so that you can see it on the screen, but there's nothing natural about that. We never do anything else outside of our shoulder width. When we kind of eat or write or type, everything we do in a central position, never out to the side. So that causes a lot of the pain and the strain. So with our mouse, you like, it's centered. It moves really easily. It moves. And, what I would say as well, people can have a free trial if they want to. So they don't have to be stuck with an expensive piece of equipment that maybe they don't like or it's not going to work for them. You can have a free trial. You can just contact us on Mousetrapper. If you go onto the website, at the top on the menu
We'll
bar.
put the details. We'll put the
Yeah.
details
There's
on the
there's a
podcast
big
anyway.
Yeah, there's a big button, try for free. That's all you need to do. So, but basically, it moves really smoothly. It's quite difficult to explain, but it moves really smoothly and it moves from side to side, up, down, so therefore you don't have to reach for anything. You have to reach, it's all in the middle. It looks a little bit like on a laptop, the control pad on a laptop, but it moves nothing like it. So on a laptop, you're the one who have to move. On the Mousetrapper, it's the control pad that actually moves, and it's smooth and it's mechanical. You click everything. It's a really an excellent product. Otherwise, it wouldn't have lasted this long. But also, there's buttons around the control pad with shortcut commands, and you can change these to change them into any of the commands that you use all the time yourself. So it's very easy like that. It's just everything is done for ease, and it can be used with a laptop or it can be used with a normal, a standard setup kind of thing. But of course, we'd also recommend you, if you're working on a laptop, you end up like this at the end of the day. So basically, you have a laptop stand, separate keyboard. So
I'm so glad to hear you say this is exactly the things that I say to people, and it's
yeah,
nice to see that
yeah,
I'm giving the right advice.
yeah, yes,
For your,
absolutely. I mean,
raise your laptop.
yeah,
Laptops are the
yeah.
worst things, aren't they?
It's up to 25 kilos extra on your neck if you sit like this all day. 25 kilos. I mean, of course, that's gonna do some harm, you know. And the statistics I mentioned earlier, of course, it's much higher than that because everybody uses a mobile phone all the time as well. So basically, 100% of people use a screen every day.
Yeah. And I think this problem is only going to get worse.
I think so too. I think as a society, we haven't really considered the consequences of this.
Yeah. We were on holidays last week for half term, and we were in this hotel with it was family hotel, so children and all that. And at one point, we were in this cafe in the hotel, and there was a table with four kids. So probably they were under 12 years of age, maybe
Yeah.
13.
Yeah.
And there was one younger kid who was probably 8. The three 12-year-olds on their phones, and the 8-year-old just like this, and the other ones like this
Yeah.
with the head. This is what you
Yeah.
see these the teenagers or the
Yeah. Yeah.
pre-teenagers,
Yeah.
and it's just like one that scares me to
Mm.
see children
Yeah.
behave that way with
Yeah.
phones,
Yeah.
and also from that young age already creating those changes
Yeah.
in their bodies. So this is probably that is not going to go away, and it's
Yeah.
actually problems are going to start a lot earlier.
Yeah.
As people, I mean, I think people from even on my parents' generation, you probably saw things coming up a lot later in life
Yeah.
because there wasn't all this technology and there was no
Yeah.
computers to start with
Yeah.
back in the day.
Yeah.
But and then I think my generation or slightly younger, there was already problems already started early. I mean, I started with back pain probably around my 30s, but I think that on the 20s, people are going to start struggling.
Yeah. I know. Yeah, because we're seeing a lot of, we according to our research, which is based on the Swedish population, but we don't expect it's all that different to most other countries. So basically, younger people, and we're saying that's between ages 18 to 29, 2 out of 3 have experienced pain when working in front of a screen. A really high number. And amongst young women, it's 4 out of 5. I know. What we're saying as well is that really, we believe it's all about education, so teaching people up, making them aware of this. And if ergonomics was, let's say, taught in school, or the was fully recognized the importance of it, then it would create a generation that would demand better ergonomic equipment, I think, as well as being aware of it. Just move, don't sit there, don't sit, and don't sit and work on your laptop on the sofa or in bed or lying on it. Just, yeah, you know, you need to think about it because actually the costs are quite high.
Yeah. So what are you already said some things. You're almost like you're reading my mind because you're already answering my next questions. So what other advice is there? So I guess I just want to summarize the general advice you would give people who want to prevent pain and are a little bit stuck with their setup at home or in the office. So
Hmm.
let's just maybe say, number one, do this. What can people do? You already said some of those things there.
Well, the very best, it doesn't cost anything, is just every half an hour or something, stand up or move, go and get a glass of water, something like this. Just try not, people are like, oh, but I was in the zone. It doesn't matter. You know what? You come back and you have a different perspective. You might even be able to add more. But seriously, it's so important. Just don't sit there for too long. That's the number one. And like I said, it doesn't cost anything. That's the most effective of all because it's
And
very unnatural
actually,
to
it is.
sit like this. Yeah.
And actually, when you move, you
Hmm.
actually moving your energy. So
Yeah.
sometimes you might think you are on a roll,
Yeah.
but you go, get up, get a glass of water, come back, you
Yeah.
move the energy, and
Yeah.
suddenly more ideas.
Yeah.
This happens to me, at
Yeah.
least. I move, and then suddenly ideas come up.
Exactly. Exactly. Or let's say if you're an artist and you're painting,
Hmm.
they step away, they leave for a bit, come back. Yeah. You see it all differently.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
exactly.
So in that vein, it's also if you have if you're able to, a sit stand option is
Yeah,
fantastic if you can. And like I said, it doesn't always have to involve a big desk, but if you're in an office, and if you can, great. If you're at home or your office won't provide that for you, then like I said, there are other solutions. You can check ours out. We call ours as Stand Friend, and it's on our website. But yeah, and so okay, so those two, of course, yeah, try Mousetrapper if you think that it's any of that, working on the clicking all the time, clicking and working outside your body. Try a Mousetrapper. We have all sorts of different solutions like that. Otherwise, some people might want to try a new chair. We have free suggestions as well that you can find them on our website if you don't remember what I'm saying now. But basically,
Yeah.
feet on the ground, if you're sat down, feet on the ground, flat on the ground, forearms parallel with the floor, because that relaxes the shoulders. If your desk is a little bit higher, we do this, or if it's too low, it causes strain as well. Forearms parallel to the floor. And the third thing is to work in a centered position. I mean, we can't stress that enough. To work in a central position, not outside your shoulder width. So those are our recommendations.
And then people will say, but I have 2 screens. What's
Yes.
your recommendation for 2 screens?
Well, 2 screens, you can still work, using one mouse. If you have a Mousetrapper, actually, because it moves so smoothly, it, just moves across 2 or even 3 screens very easily. So that makes no difference. I'd say that's quite standard these days, isn't it? 2 screens. Like I said,
Yeah.
people are even moving on to 3 screens now, aren't they? So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. Okay. So I was about the trial.
Hmm.
How long is the trial period that you guys offer?
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah. So basically, you can do it through our website, and we will organize it with one of our resellers because we're the manufacturer, so we don't really sell to end customers. So contact us, and we'll organize it all for you. 2 weeks is usually enough time for someone to know if this is for them or not. So yeah. And you can, on our website as well, you can see all the different models we do, and there's a little button below it saying compare. So you can compare the different ones so that you get something that suits, whether you want wireless or whether you want it with what's it called? Keyboard attached, or if you
Mm,
want to work with a pad, or if you want a bar. We offer all sorts of solutions, in sizes and so on. So
great.
that's how it works. So it's really easy. I can't stress that enough. I think it's a win-win situation, really.
Yeah. Excellent. Now, for whoever's listening to this and they're like, I'm on the fence, what'd you say
Mhm.
for those people?
I would say it's free. So if you are experiencing pain, I think it's worth it. But you can always give me a call and we can talk about it, and then
Yeah.
we can take it from there.
Yeah. Because there's nothing to lose,
Yes. Yes,
right?
exactly. Yeah. I think
From
yeah.
choosing to have a trial,
Yeah.
they only have to gain.
Yeah.
It
Yes,
might not
absolutely.
work, but it might work.
Well, exactly.
And
Yeah.
if it works, it's a win.
Exactly. Yeah. So I would say it's always worth it. Even if you're just curious, give it a go.
Mm,
You know?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And anything else that you think
Yeah.
our
Well, what
listeners need
else?
to hear about Mousetrapper?
No, no. I mean, we're quite interested in the fact that in all our research, women seem to experience more pain than men. So we're quite interested in what that is about. I mean, of course, some equipment they're designed by men for men, really. So wider shoulders and so on. And it's not, there's
Right.
nothing mean about it or anything. It's just, you know, it's just how it is kind of thing. So we're wondering if, what is this about? And if RSI was deemed a workplace injury, then we could really look into it. We could really create an incentive for some kind of change around this. Because of course women are quite a large part of the workforce also.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Of
so
course.
that's something that we are quite interested in. But let's see what else.
And you said we talked about RSI quite a lot,
Hmm.
but what we see in clinic is people who have problems because of a bad setup. Probably most of the time it's a neck pain, but it's a neck pain because things are out of alignment, and then
Yeah,
the shoulders being hunched up on one
yeah,
side more than the other.
yeah,
But we see lots of shoulder, we see lots of elbows because of that problem as well. And there is a bit of wrist. It's not loads, but there is a bit of wrist. But the main culprit from bad setup and just being
yeah,
too spread out,
yeah.
not the makeup, the symptom that we see the most is
Mm,
neck.
hmm.
which just
Yeah.
shows how you can just really travel up. And a lot of
Yes.
the time is a neck, but there's also some shoulder pain, and
Yeah.
there might be also
Yeah.
be an elbow pain.
Yeah. Yeah. All of those. I mean, RSI is really kind of it's an overuse of injuries in the muscles. I think I'm saying this correctly. Surrounding neck, shoulder, arm, hands. Is
Right.
that overuse? That's it.
Yeah.
And also imagine sitting like this at half the day. We don't even realize we do it.
Yeah.
So it causes a a lot of pain and strain.
Yeah.
And that's what, if you work in a central position, your posture changes.
Hmm.
Your posture, you become more upright because you're not, yeah, it, it's close to your body as possible. You have the mousetrapper and so on, and you become much more upright. So it's,
It's almost like gives you this automatic awareness.
yes,
You're
yeah,
aware without being aware because you're being forced into that position of just
yeah,
being here,
yeah,
and then you just
yeah,
have to be in a good position.
yeah, yes, exactly.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. And imagine when we first started using a computer mouse, then that position must have seemed quite strange as well. Just like you think working in the central position now seems
Hmm.
strange because we're so used to working on the side with a mouse most of the time, or a laptop, you know, a laptop pad. So, but yeah, of course, there's a lot of I can still feel it in my shoulder sometimes from
Hmm.
before yeah, it's just I guess it'll never properly go away, but it certainly helps with a mousetrapper, that's for sure. But also one thing I think attitudes are slowly changing here in the UK, I
Hmm.
think, where I'm based, There's, the cost versus investment is changing a little bit, how people see that because the employers can see it is quite expensive when someone goes off. You know, but there's a culture of not complaining, I think. I don't know how you find it in this country, but
Yeah.
people don't want to be a bother. They're like, oh, no, I'm fine. Oh, I've had this pain 20 years, but it's fine. It's no big deal kind of thing. And yeah,
Yeah.
so there
It's
is
terrible,
that.
isn't
You
it?
speak to your employers, basically, ask them what's possible. What options do I have? Can you help me with something? And most of the time, they'd probably be quite happy because legislation is changing a little bit as well.
Yeah. Yeah. It's exactly what I've come across this many times, saying
Mm,
to people, your employer, the law, they need to provide you with a safe environment for
yeah,
work that is not going to
yeah,
be detrimental to your health.
yeah,
So if that's not happening, if you're getting paid from working, they got to do something about it. And people
yeah,
often go, "Oh, really?" It's like,
yeah,
yeah,
yes,
you're not
exactly,
getting paid to
exactly.
be paying.
Yeah, yeah. They might be really supportive actually when it
Yeah,
comes down to it. And
yeah,
like I said, I think attitudes are changing. And especially as we work more from home, I think it's more talked about. It's becoming a bigger deal because there's some crazy setups at home, involving ironing boards and lots of books and all sorts of things. It's
yeah.
and
I've
sometimes that
seen
can
that.
work too, but it's
Yeah.
yeah, you can probably have even better than that.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. Malin, it's been really insightful to have you here, giving us all this information about Mousetrapper. And I would definitely encourage anyone who's listening and is struggling with any kind of pain that is work related to just click on the links on the descriptions and get in touch. Just have a conversation and see where that leads. Have a free trial and see, like we said, nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Yeah.
nothing to
Yeah.
lose.
Please. And contact me anytime if I can be of any help. I'm happy to give my time.
Great.
Please do. Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you so
Great.
much again, Mali, for being here. For
Thank
everyone
you.
else, thanks for joining. Thanks for listening. And we will see you all next time.
All right. Thank you. Bye.